If you're a business owner or a tech person like myself, you may hear about the latest technology coming out and get excited. Whether it is the latest iPhone or Windows coming out with an update, you hear about the new tech and you're like, I can get my hands on it for myself. Well, what if I told you that sometimes getting the latest tech can introduce a bunch of problems? Well, in this video, I'm going to be going over a new vulnerability that is making waves. Let's get into the video. What's up YouTube? Trent here with Visual Torch, where we teach you how to keep yourself safe and secure from online threats. In this video, we're going to be going over a brand new flaw that is making waves. A couple weeks ago, security researcher Yuval Gordon unveiled a significant security flaw within Windows Server 2025, which he dubbed BadSuccessor. In this vulnerability, he found that an attacker could escalate its permissions, compromise a whole Active Directory network, and basically make itself whatever account it wants. Sounds terrible, right? Well, before we can dive into what BadSuccessor is, there's some key things we need to learn. The first thing is that Microsoft unveiled Windows Server 2025, and when they did, they introduced a thing called Delegated Managed Service Accounts. These Delegated Managed Service Accounts, or dMSAs for short, are used to help legacy accounts migrate over into this new dMSA. When the migration happens, the service account can no longer be used, but the dMSA will then take those permissions and basically act as if it was a legacy account. What you've all found with this being introduced was that users now got a permission to be able to create these delegated managed service accounts. Also, he found that, well, if you pair the creation of these accounts with a permission called write DACL, which is the ability to write to Active Directory objects, discretionary access control lists, they can then start editing different attributes within these Active Directory objects. Well, one of them is called the MSDS preceded by account link. And what that does is it has a field in there named distinguished name. He found out, well, if I start adding accounts to this distinguished name, the dMSA will actually think that the migration happened. So in turn, what he did was he took a privileged admin, put it into the distinguished name field, and when he did that, he found out that now that dMSA inherited all the permissions of that privileged account. So at that point, nothing needed to be done. All you needed was those 2 to 3 permissions, and you're off to the races of impersonating whoever you wanted. I know I threw a lot of terminology at you real quick, but I'll go ahead and break it down so it's a lot easier to understand. So if you think of your company's network as an office building, you have employees that will get key cards to be able to access your building. And once inside, different employees can have different key cards to do different things. Maybe the front desk person can just go to the kitchen, or they can go to the break room or the back office supplies. But then you have someone like a network engineer or CEO that may have access to more rooms. They may have access to a board office or a server room, or just one card that allows them to get everywhere. Well, you have these keys, and now you used an old system to be able to make these keys. And you're like, hey, that system's kind of raggedy. What I'm going to do is we're going to upgrade to a new system that's going to help us cut keys more efficiently. So the new keys you would cut them, and then they would just end up taking the accesses from the old keys onto the new keys. And boom, everything works. That's just how the dMSAs work. But what if someone found out that in the process of linking their new cards, they can link it to anybody's card? So they link it to the CEOs, and then now they're able to walk into boardrooms, other rooms that they normally won't have access to. That's what BadSuccessor is all about. It's sneakily cloning permissions from another user over into this Delegated Managed Service account, and boom, you're off to the races. I know, that is scary. Yuval Gordon and other security researchers such as SpecterOps have notified Microsoft of this vulnerability. Microsoft is taking a while to figure out if they want to patch it or not. They said it's a medium severity to them and it doesn't warrant a immediate patch, but other security researchers are telling them no, it's a pretty big deal. So if you've just migrated over to Windows Server 2025 and you're worried about this type of attack, there's some few things you can do. One, you want to limit whoever has the ability to create these dMSAs. You also want to go ahead and turn on any type of auditing. You want to make sure that you're auditing for this MSDS, Managed Account Preceded by Link Attributes. You want to make sure that people aren't adding things to it. You can audit it just to make sure that the right things are being added to this attribute, because that's where the whole key comes from. And then you also want to make sure that you're giving people just enough permissions to do their job. The front office person shouldn't have enough accesses to go and change the CEO's password or change firewalls. No, they need just the access to do their job. That's what we like to call the principle of least privilege. Here at Visual Torch, we specialize in identifying and mitigating vulnerabilities just like this. We offer services such as vulnerability assessments and penetration testing, where we're able to go in and audit your Active Directory environments. From there, we'll help your team implement monitoring solutions and learn how to identify these type of threats. If you like this video and want to stay more up to date on all things cybersecurity related, from news to how to secure your business, do us a favor, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That's all we have for today. Have a great day.